Across the vast and intricate network of our modern world, a delicate balance is maintained. But this delicate equilibrium, like the intricate dance of predator and prey, is susceptible to disruption. The shelves, once brimming with a bounty of familiar products, are beginning to show signs of strain. Join us now, as we delve into this rapidly changing world, exploring the forces driving these shortages, and revealing 8 common foods that may soon vanish from our tables. Stay until the end because one of these foods might already be gone. Our journey begins in the vast expanse of the world's oceans, a realm teeming with life yet increasingly vulnerable to the pressures of human demands. Overfishing, driven by our insatiable appetite, has decimated fish populations across the globe. Adding to this ecological strain are the rising costs associated with bringing these products to market. Fuel prices, a significant factor in the economics of fishing fleets, have soared in recent years, making each voyage a more costly endeavor. Furthermore, a growing awareness of sustainability concerns is prompting many consumers to reconsider their relationship with seafood. These converging pressures, like a perfect storm-gathering force, are pushing canned tuna and other seafood products toward the brink of scarcity. Major brands facing dwindling supplies and mounting economic challenges are scaling back production or discontinuing certain products altogether. The familiar cans of tuna, once lining supermarket shelves with their colorful labels, may soon become a relic of a bygone era. As supplies dwindle and prices rise, families on tight budgets may find themselves facing difficult choices. Our journey through the shifting landscape of our grocery stores takes us next to the frozen food aisle, a domain where convenience and affordability have long reigned supreme. Frozen breakfast items, those time-saving staples of our fast-paced lives, are facing a confluence of challenges that are making them increasingly difficult to come by. Labor shortages, rippling through the food processing plants responsible for transforming raw ingredients into convenient breakfast fare, are creating bottlenecks in the supply chain. The rising cost of living, coupled with stagnant wages, has made it increasingly difficult for many Americans to make ends meet. Compounding this labor shortage are the escalating costs associated with food production itself. Faced with these mounting pressures, some brands of frozen breakfast foods are being forced to make difficult decisions. Certain items, deemed insufficiently profitable in the face of these challenges, may be discontinued altogether. The once reliable abundance of frozen breakfast options, a testament to the ingenuity and efficiency of our modern food system, is now facing an uncertain future. As we navigate this changing landscape, it may be time to reconsider our reliance on these convenient yet increasingly vulnerable staples of our morning routines. The aroma of freshly baked bread and the comforting sweetness of pastries have long been sensory beacons, drawing us into bakeries and grocery store aisles alike. Wheat, the very foundation of countless baked goods, is caught in a complex web of global forces that are driving up prices and threatening shortages. Climate change, with its unpredictable weather patterns and increasing frequency of extreme events, is disrupting harvests in key wheat-producing regions. Adding to these climate-related challenges is the geopolitical turmoil that has gripped the world stage. The conflict in Ukraine, a major wheat exporter, has sent shockwaves through global commodity markets, disrupting supply chains and fueling price volatility. Sugar, the other key ingredient in many beloved baked goods, is facing its own set of challenges. The production of sugarcane, from which most table sugar is derived, is highly water-intensive, making it vulnerable to the impacts of climate change and water scarcity. Faced with these escalating costs and supply chain disruptions, bakers and food manufacturers are left with few palatable options. Some are choosing to absorb the higher costs, accepting thinner profit margins in an effort to maintain their product lines and customer loyalty. Others, however, are being forced to pass these costs along to consumers in the form of higher prices, making those once affordable indulgences a luxury that many can no longer afford. As a result, we may begin to see a shift in the landscape of our baked goods aisles. Our exploration of the changing grocery landscape now leads us to the beverage aisle, a vibrant tapestry of colors and flavors that has long quenched our thirst and tantalized our taste buds. The once ubiquitous presence of certain soda brands, those fizzy emblems of refreshment and indulgence, is facing a confluence of pressures that are challenging their dominance. Health concerns, fueled by growing awareness of the link between sugary drinks and a range of health problems, are prompting many consumers to reconsider their beverage choices. Governments, responding to these public health concerns and the rising costs associated with diet-related illnesses, are implementing policies aimed at curbing the consumption of sugary drinks. Sugar taxes, already in place in several countries and municipalities, add a surcharge to the price of sugary beverages, making healthier options more appealing. Adding to the challenges faced by soda manufacturers is the growing momentum behind plastic reduction initiatives. As awareness of the environmental impact of single-use plastics grows, consumers are increasingly seeking out beverages packaged in more sustainable materials. These converging pressures are forcing some soda brands to adapt or risk being left behind. Reformulations aimed at reducing sugar content and appealing to health-conscious consumers are becoming increasingly common. New packaging options, utilizing recycled materials or exploring alternative packaging formats, are also emerging as companies strive to align with evolving consumer preferences. As a result, we may witness a gradual yet noticeable shift in the beverage aisle. Our journey through the evolving landscape of our grocery stores now takes us to the snack aisle, a realm of tempting treats and satisfying crunches that has long been a source of comfort and indulgence. Corn, the humble yet mighty grain that forms the backbone of countless snack foods, from crunchy chips to fluffy popcorn, is facing a perfect storm of challenges that are pushing prices higher and threatening shortages. Climate change, with its unpredictable weather patterns and increasing frequency of extreme events, is disrupting harvests in key corn-producing regions. The impact of these climate-related disruptions is being felt globally, as corn prices soar and the availability of this staple crop becomes increasingly uncertain. Adding to these challenges are the geopolitical tensions and trade disputes that have roiled global commodity markets. The conflict in Ukraine, a major corn exporter, has sent shockwaves through global supply chains, disrupting exports and fueling price volatility. Furthermore, the rising demand for corn-based ethanol, driven by government mandates and incentives aimed at promoting renewable fuels, is competing with food production for this valuable crop. As a result, we are witnessing a tug-of-war for corn, with snack food manufacturers finding themselves vying for a shrinking share of the global harvest. Faced with these escalating costs and supply chain disruptions, snack food companies are left with few palatable options. Some are choosing to absorb the higher costs, accepting thinner profit margins in an effort to maintain their product lines and customer loyalty. Others, however, are being forced to make more drastic adjustments. As a result, we may begin to see a shift in the snack aisle landscape. Our exploration of the changing grocery landscape now takes us on a journey to the far corners of the globe, to the lush, tropical regions where two of the world's most beloved indulgences, coffee and chocolate, begin their journey from bean to cup and bar. Climate change, the relentless force reshaping our planet, is casting a long shadow over coffee and cocoa plantations. Rising temperatures, changes in rainfall patterns, and the increasing frequency of extreme weather events are disrupting delicate growing cycles and threatening the very existence of these valuable crops. Coffee, a finicky plant that thrives in specific climatic conditions, is particularly vulnerable to these shifts. Cocoa, the raw ingredient in chocolate, faces similar challenges. Deforestation, driven by agricultural expansion and illegal logging, is fragmenting and degrading this vital ecosystem, threatening the long-term survival of wild cocoa populations and the genetic diversity they provide. As the impacts of climate change intensify, we are likely to see a decline in the production of both coffee and cocoa. This decline in supply, coupled with rising global demand, is driving up prices, making these once affordable luxuries increasingly out of reach for many consumers. The future of our morning cup of coffee and our afternoon chocolate indulgence hangs in the balance. Our exploration of the evolving grocery landscape now leads us to the dairy aisle, a refrigerated haven of creamy cheeses, refreshing yogurts, and other milk-derived delights. Specialty dairy items, those artisanal cheeses, lactose-free alternatives, and other niche products that cater to evolving tastes and dietary needs, are facing a confluence of pressures that are challenging their viability. Rising production costs, driven by factors such as increasing feed and transportation expenses, are squeezing the already thin profit margins of dairy farmers. Furthermore, consumer demand for dairy products, particularly traditional cow's milk, is undergoing a transformation. Health concerns, environmental awareness, and the growing popularity of plant-based alternatives are prompting many consumers to reduce their dairy consumption or seek out alternative sources of calcium and other nutrients. Faced with these challenges, some dairy producers, particularly those operating on smaller scales or specializing in niche products, are finding it increasingly difficult to compete. As a result, we may witness a gradual shift in the dairy aisle landscape. Our final stop on this exploration of the changing grocery landscape takes us to the realm of niche health and organic foods, a domain once characterized by its promise of wholesome ingredients, ethical sourcing, and a commitment to sustainability. The rising cost of food, a global phenomenon driven by a complex interplay of factors, is casting a long shadow over this specialized segment of the grocery market. As prices for basic staples such as grains, produce, and proteins continue to climb, consumers are becoming increasingly price-sensitive, forced to prioritize affordability over their desire for premium ingredients and ethical considerations. Niche health and organic foods, often produced on smaller scales with higher input costs, are particularly vulnerable to these economic pressures. Furthermore, the supply chains for many niche health and organic foods are often more complex and less resilient than those of conventional products. As a result, we are witnessing a contraction in the availability and affordability of niche health and organic foods. This shift in focus, while driven by economic realities, could have implications for consumer choice, product diversity, and the livelihoods of those involved in the production and distribution of these specialized foods. As we conclude our journey through the evolving landscape of our grocery stores, it is clear that the abundance we have come to expect is no longer a given. The forces reshaping our world, from climate change and geopolitical instability to shifting consumer preferences and economic pressures, are leaving their mark on the shelves and in our shopping carts. The 8 foods we have explored, once staples of our diets and readily available at affordable prices, now face an uncertain future. By understanding the forces at play, making informed choices as consumers, and supporting sustainable practices throughout the food system, we can help shape a future where our plates remain filled with a diversity of nutritious and delicious options. Now you know which foods might vanish from grocery stores. What food are you most worried about losing? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more food and grocery updates.